Your body naturally produces the exact same weight loss hormone found in expensive injections. But modern industrial oils have destroyed the switch, and the only way to turn it back on is by repairing your gut.
Welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Stay informed with quick, easy-to-listen summaries of our latest articles, perfect for when you're on the go. No reading required. Subscribe for free at mercola.com for the latest health insights.
Hello, and welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the biology of the weight loss plateau. I think we've all been there. We're looking at why the body just sometimes refuses to shed fat, even when you feel like you're doing everything right.
It is the most common frustration, isn't it? You restrict calories, you exercise, and then nothing. The scale just freezes.
Exactly.
And the standard advice is always just push harder. But the research we're looking at today suggests that's actually, the wrong move entirely. This isn't a willpower failure. It's a system failure.
We're going to be talking about GLP-1, which is, it's the hormone everyone is talking about because of the new weight loss drugs, but we're looking at it from a totally different angle.
Right.
It's not about how to inject it. We want to know why your body stopped making it in the first place and how to fix that internal factory. That's the core mission here. We really need to understand the difference between, let's say, renting a solution, which is what the drug is, and actually repairing the infrastructure.
I like that.
The goal is to reactivate the body's own fat-burning intelligence by fixing the gut, and specifically by addressing what is really a bacterial extinction event inside most of us.
Okay, so let's start with the current landscape. You can't walk past a magazine rack or scroll online without seeing Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro. They are absolutely everywhere.
And they are powerful tools. There's no debating that they work to quiet the appetite, but we have to look at the mechanism to understand the limitation.
Okay.
These drugs are synthetic mimics of a natural gut hormone. It's called glucagon-like peptide 1.
GLP-1.
Right, GLP-1. In a healthy functioning metabolism, this isn't something you should need from a lab. It's a daily operational signal. When you eat, your gut is supposed to sense those nutrients and release this hormone.
So it's the off switch for hunger.
It's much more than just an off switch. It does signal the brain that you're full, yes. But it also manages insulin release, it stabilizes your blood sugar, and it slows down gastric emptying so you feel satisfied longer. It's a full-on metabolic regulator.
And the argument here is that for a huge portion of the population, the cells that are responsible for this, the L cells, have just gone offline.
Exactly. We have these specialized sensors in our intestinal lining called L cells. Think of them like gatekeepers. In a healthy person, they're constantly monitoring what you're eating.
Okay.
But in so many people who are struggling with weight, these L cells are effectively comatose. They just aren't sensing the food, so they aren't releasing the signal.
So when someone takes one of these injections, they're just bypassing a broken sensor.
Correct. It's an external override.
Yeah.
You're flooding the system with a synthetic copy of the signal because your own factory shut down.
And that must explain the rebound effect.
It explains it perfectly.
Yeah.
The moment you stop the drug, the weight comes back, and often aggressively, because you haven't fixed the L cells. You haven't repaired the grid. You just rented a generator.
Yep. That analogy of the generator versus the power grid is perfect. The generator keeps the lights on, sure, but it's noisy, it's expensive, and it's temporary.
Right.
We want to fix the downed power line in the backyard so the house runs on its own power again.
And to fix that power line, we have to get microscopic. We have to introduce this central character of this story. It's a specific gut bacterium that basically acts as the manager for those L cells.
And this is Akkermansia mucinifera.
Let's just call it Acker. It's much easier. This bacterium is what we call a keystone species. It lives deep in the mucus layer of your gut lining, that protective gel separating your food from your bloodstream.
Okay.
And the data shows this really stark correlation. People who are naturally lean, who have high insulin sensitivity and low inflammation, they almost universally have high levels of Acker.
So it's the fingerprint of a fast metabolism.
In many ways, yes. Acker strengthens the gut barrier. But here's the crucial part. It interacts directly with those L cells. It stimulates them to secrete GLP-1. Without Acker, the L cells just don't get the memo.
Now, this is where the research took a turn that I really didn't expect. Usually when we talk about gut health, the first thought is probiotics, live bacteria.
Right.
But the findings here suggest that for Acker, dead might actually be better than live.
It is so counterintuitive, isn't it? We're conditioned to think probiotics must be alive to colonize the gut.
Yeah.
But there was a significant human study on pasteurized agar. That means it was heat-killed. The bacteria are dead. And yet this group saw an improvement in insulin sensitivity of nearly 30% and better weight loss than the group taking the live bacteria.
How on earth does a dead bacterium trigger a biological response? That sounds almost like magic.
It's not magic, it's purely structural. It's a lock and key mechanism. The key is a specific protein on the outer membrane of the Akkermansia.
Okay.
Even if you kill the bacterium with heat, that protein structure, it stays intact. It's still shaped like the key.
So it creates the signal without the organism even needing to be alive?
Exactly. Just slots into the receptor on the gut lining and boom, it triggers the GLP-1 release. And this is a huge breakthrough because it brings us into this era of postbiotics.
Postbiotics.
You get all the signaling benefit without the risk of, say, bacterial overgrowth or the difficulty of even keeping the bacteria alive on a shelf. It's a precise signal, not a chaotic colonization.
So we've established Acker is the hero. We know we need its signal to lose weight. The obvious next question is then, who killed our Acker? If we're designed to have this, why is it missing in so many people?
This is where we have to look at our food environment. The research identifies a very specific villain, and it's not sugar, which is what most people would expect.
Right.
It's industrial seed oils, specifically the high concentration of linoleic acid.
We're talking about the standard cooking oils here: soybean oil, corn oil, sunflower, safflower, canola oil.
The clear, odorless oils that are in, virtually every single processed food item on a shelf. The problem with linoleic acid is its chemical instability. It is highly prone to oxidation.
Okay, but I want to drill down on the mechanism. How does eating soybean oil specifically target and kill this one type of bacteria?
It all comes down to oxygen. Acker is an anaerobe. It thrives in an environment with zero oxygen. A healthy gut is an oxygen-free zone.
I see.
But these seed oils, they damage the gut lining and, more importantly, they impair the mitochondria in your cells.
The mitochondria being the little engines in our cells.
Right. And when your cellular engines are forced to run on these unstable industrial fats, they become really inefficient. The electron transport chain, that's the assembly line of energy production, it starts to malfunction.
And the result of that is?
Oxygen isn't burned up efficiently by the cells. It leaks out.
So the oxygen leaks from our own cells into the gut chamber.
Exactly. And we usually think of oxygen as being universally good, but for the gut microbiome, it's a toxin. It is poison for the good guys. When you flood the gut with that leaked oxygen, the beneficial anaerobes like Acker, they die off. They just can't survive.
And I'm guessing something else moves in to take their place.
Pathogenic bacteria that love oxygen move right in. So you completely flip the ecosystem. You go from a healthy, fat-burning anaerobic gut to a dysbiotic, inflammatory aerobic gut.
And this leads right into the condition people call leaky gut.
Right. Without Acker there to maintain the mucus barrier, the wall degrades. So now you have toxins, specifically a compound called LPS lipopolysaccharide, leaking from your intestine into your bloodstream.
And LPS is the big trigger for systemic inflammation.
It puts your immune system in a state of chronic emergency. And here is the kicker for weight loss. When your body is inflamed and fighting off what it sees as an invasion, it refuses to burn fat. It shifts into survival storage mode. The metabolism just locks down.
So let me see if I have this chain reaction right. Seed oils cause oxygen leaks, which kills Acker, which stops the GLP-1 signal. Then the gut leaks toxins, which causes inflammation that locks our fat cells.
That is the perfect summary of the metabolic crash. And it explains why simply eating less doesn't work. You can eat less, but if that inflammatory signal is jamming the system, the fat cells won't open.
Okay, let's pivot to the solution. If I'm listening to this, my instinct is to say, okay, my bacteria are starving, I need to feed them. The standard advice is fiber. Just eat massive amounts of fiber right now. But the research has a big red warning label on this idea. It's called the fiber paradox.
And this is where so many people go wrong. They try to fix a broken gut with a healthy high-fiber diet, but they do it in the wrong order. If your gut is currently leaky and inflamed and you dump a massive amount of fermentable fiber into it, you're not feeding the good bacteria. You're feeding the dysbiosis, all the bad guys.
And that leads to all the bloating and discomfort people feel when they try to clean up their diet too fast.
It's not just bloating, it's a chemical fire. The fermentation process in a damaged gut produces gas and, crucially, more LPS toxins. You're essentially trying to pressurize a pipe that has holes in it.
Oh, wow.
By adding all that fiber too soon, you just blow the holes wide open and make the inflammation even worse.
That explains so much frustration. People think I'm eating all the right things, but I feel worse and I'm gaining weight. It's because the infrastructure isn't ready for the fuel.
Precisely. You cannot pressurize the pipe until you patch the leaks. The repair has to come before the heavy fiber load.
Let's get to the repair manual then. The findings outline a pretty clear protocol to reverse this. So step 1 is removal.
Step 1 is it's completely non-negotiable. You have to cut the linoleic acid. The goal is to get your intake under 5 grams a day, and ideally, down to 2 grams. This means a zero tolerance policy for soybean, corn, canola, safflower, and sunflower oils.
Which practically means cooking at home, right? Because those oils are the standard in almost every restaurant and packaged food.
Yes.
What do we replace them with?
You need stable fats. Fats that do not oxidize and do not damage mitochondrial respiration. We're talking about saturated animal fats, things like grass-fed butter, ghee, and tallow.
Yeah.
These are structural fats that support your cells and allow the mitochondria to function cleanly.
It's so interesting that we're going back to the traditional fats our ancestors used.
It's just about the chemistry. These fats are stable. They don't react with oxygen and create inflammation. It's that simple.
Okay, so step 2 is feed the garden, but gently. How do we navigate this fiber paradox?
You have to be selective. You want prebiotics that nourish Acker without causing a riot in the gut. The recommendation is to start with cooked vegetables, not raw ones because they're just easier to digest. But the real hack here is something called retrograded starch.
Like cooked and cooled rice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you cook white rice and then cool it in a refrigerator for, say, 12 hours or so, the chemical structure of that starch actually changes. It becomes a resistant starch.
Meaning it resists digestion in the stomach.
Yes. So it passes through to the colon where it acts as a very gentle premium fuel for the beneficial bacteria. It doesn't spike blood sugar like hot rice does, and it doesn't cause that rapid fermentation. It's a very safe way to start.
Are there other foods in this gentle category?
Specific fruits are recommended, like organic apples or pears, but ideally peeled and cooked at first. Again, just to reduce the digestive load. You're trying to coax the system back to health, not force it. Green bananas are another really good source of that resistant starch.
And we should be avoiding things like nuts and seeds during this initial phase.
Yes, absolutely. Nuts and seeds are often high in the very linoleic acid we're trying to eliminate, and they can be abrasive to a healing gut lining. We want to keep the diet very low in those industrial oils and high in stable fats and gentle starches.
Step 3 brings us back to our friend Acker. This is where the postbiotics come in.
Right. Since we know we can't just throw fiber at the problem yet, using a pasteurized Acker supplement acts as a jumpstart. It's a precision tool. We're introducing the keys to turn on the GLP-1 and help seal the barrier. It just accelerates the healing.
It's like using a primer before you paint the wall. It prepares the surface.
That's a great analogy. It helps seal the tight junctions in the gut lining, which stops the LPS leak. Once that leak stops, inflammation drops, and the body can finally start listening to the weight loss signals again.
And finally, step 4 is lifestyle. It's not just about what we eat. The research puts a heavy emphasis on what we do after we eat.
Walking, but specifically walking immediately after meals. This isn't just about burning a few calories. It's about mechanically helping to clear glucose from your bloodstream, which takes a huge pressure off your insulin system. And when insulin is low, the body is much more willing to burn fat.
And combined with that, we have to talk about stress and sleep.
They're critical. High cortisol, the stress hormone, directly interferes with the gut barrier. You could have a perfect diet, but if you're chronically stressed or sleep deprived, your gut can remain permeable. Managing stress is actually a structural repair tool for your gut.
So if we follow the protocol, cut the seed oils, switch to butter and tallow, use gentle resistant starch, maybe the postbiotics, and manage our lifestyle. What's the timeline? What happens inside the body?
Well, the findings suggest that within weeks, the inflammation starts to drop. As the gut lining rebuilds, as the pipe gets patched, the oxygen levels in the gut go down.
And when the oxygen drops,
Akkermansia starts to thrive naturally.
Yeah.
You see, you don't need to keep taking the supplement forever. You're restoring the environment where your own bacteria can flourish. And this leads to the long-term vision, which is metabolic freedom.
This is the phase where the cycle becomes self-sustaining.
Yes. Once the gut is healed, you have this beautiful feedback loop. Your bacteria produce gut gems, which are short-chain fatty acids, and specifically one called butyrate.
Butyrate, why is that one so important?
Butyrate is the primary fuel source for the cells lining your colon. When your colon cells are well fed with butyrate, they function perfectly. And here's the magic. Healthy colon cells act like a vacuum for oxygen. They consume it rapidly, which ensures the gut stays anaerobic.
So the bacteria feed the cells, and the cells maintain the oxygen-free home for the bacteria.
Exactly. And in that environment, the L cells work. They produce GLP-1 naturally. Your appetite regulates itself. You don't need the injection because your internal factory is back online.
That really is the core realization of this deep dive. We tend to view weight loss as this battle of deprivation. I have to fight my hunger. But this research suggests hunger is just a symptom of a broken communication line.
It completely changes the definition of a cure. A cure isn't a drug you take for life. A cure is restoring the body's own innate intelligence so it functions without help. It's not about fighting your body. It's about giving it the raw materials to rebuild its own infrastructure.
Construction, not destruction. That is a powerful place to land. It shifts the focus from the number on the scale to the quality of the cell.
And when you fix the cell, the weight tends to take care of itself.
Thank you for listening to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. See you in the next episode.
Looking for trusted health wisdom you can hold in your hands? Discover the life-changing books of Dr. Mercola at joyhousepublishing.com. These titles bring decades of natural health research into practical steps for better energy, stronger immunity, and clearer thinking. Take charge of your health with guidance rooted in science and experience. Visit joyhousepublishing.com now and claim your bonuses while they are available.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.